Hi, my name is Mark. They call me Coach Mark here at FullGrip Barbell. Today we're gonna start with our first YouTube content, and I'm gonna wing it. I don't really like talking in front of a camera, but it's kind of weird. But yeah, I'm gonna be answering some questions. As a kid, I was big in wrestling, um, and I like to do stunts and. So me and my bros would like play and like just do some wrestling moves on each other, and basically, I was a very active kid. I like to move things. I love to move weights. I like to jump and stuff. Climb trees. Even though I was scared of heights, I'd still climb up trees, jump off trees, and it was one of those things we did growing up in the Philippines and stuff, especially living on top of a mountain. So now, then the moment I saw a barbell, it was like love at first sight. I started experimenting bodybuilding, then eventually transitioned to power building. I wanted to be athletic, strong, fast, and explosive. I wasn't fortunate enough to get coaching for things that I wanted to do, such as like I wanted to do some martial arts. So, I just basically um, punch anything, and like, yeah. And then eventually I got me a punching bag and double rope bag and mess with that. So along with doing power building. So my pops didn't really support any of that stuff, so I literally have to forge his signature so I could play sport at school and like park rec. I played basketball, football, and swimming. um so me and my friends would like sneak into like some of these global gym at the time to get a workout in, and we would like forge like a stamp, and we would sneak in and work out, and we'd kind of do that and work out for free, and we'd do that like almost like every other day, and also at the school, at school in high school, they had a gym where they had a bench and squat rack and stuff. So we messed up. Every time it's open, I was always there. Yeah. Then after high school, the moment I was able to afford a gym, right, I became a gym rat. And I also bought myself my own equipment at home and stuff. So yeah, in 2009, um, I got hit by the unknown, and doctors couldn't figure it out. To a point, they felt I was making things up. I was already having symptoms way before that. Then didn't really seek for help. I didn't really think anything. Like maybe I was just overtraining. Yeah, I blamed it on that. Maybe I'm just getting older. Right at the time. During this time, it was really hard for the family because doctors couldn't figure it out. They didn't know what was wrong with me. You know, I had like days where I lost the use of my arms and legs. I was pretty much bedridden for the most part. Then in the beginning of 2011, we found the right doctor and diagnosed me with chronic Lyme disease. By July 2011, with the help of the right doctors mixing Western and Eastern medicine, I basically came back to life. I picked up a basketball. And there were some kids there. I started shooting with them, and then I went to my wife and told her like, "Oh man, I feel good. I'm back. Not 100%, but I was back. So during that time, while I was bedridden, I would have like an out of body experience. I basically watch myself like looking over me, watching me deteriorate, and I would pray. I talked to God and begged Him to save me, and if He gets me out of this one, I do something good in return. My prayers were answered, during that July 2011, right? So first thing I did is get back inside the gym, and during that time, I was doing a lot of brainstorming how I can keep my promise to God. Then it clicked. I've been training all my life. And then I saw CrossFit. I was like, man, I could do those CrossFit movements. I've been doing that way before even CrossFit, like handstand push-ups and stuff, I was like, that was part of my training, um, so, um, and then I also literally coach a bunch of friends at the gym growing up. They would tag along and they didn't know what to do. So I was the one to show them. Um, Also, I also coach kids in basketball and baseball and did pretty well, right? So, so I said, like, I'm onto something here. So I invested in equipment, um, opened up my garage by 2011. So I start training people. I put it out there, um, and I didn't really advertise it, but first it was like a friend of mine, his son, he was playing baseball, and he also did karate, and I started training him. Yeah, so um, he was an athlete. So now, um, I always had this vision of a barbell gym, so I always apply strength along with the typical CrossFit workout every session. But really, my bread and butter is basically strength and conditioning, even in the past. So I eventually dropped CrossFit. And during that time, around 2017, and during that time, I told all the members, let's take it up a notch. Let's get even stronger and focus on specific. Doing CrossFit will only take us so far as our gains. Um, I always let all the members know what our next move, even the time we outgrew the garage and transitioned to a warehouse. So, like I said, by 2017, we changed the name to FullGrip Barbell. At first, we focused on like super total. Then I assess athletes on their skills, strength, and weaknesses where they can excel. So I would advise them, like this athlete to train powerlifting and this athlete to train weightlifting instead, right? Focus on one. So we were already competing at either sport, even when we were doing CrossFit. And I gotta admit, the athletes were doing very well at the time. A couple of full grip athletes walking in a powerlifting event and then getting the Wilkes Award while wearing a full grip CrossFit shirt. And people were saying like, what the fuck, these CrossFitters are doing something right. uh but but I envision next level shit as far as like strength and skill. So we transitioned to a full-blown powerlifting and weightlifting gym. I told them pick one and get good at that. So probably the best decision we all made, me as a coach and also the athletes. In-house, we have powerlifting, weightlifting, and something I designed called tactical strength and conditioning. It's in a form of a giant set. We also give general strength program for certain individuals or bodybuilding focus only. It really depends on their goal. Our powerlifting and weightlifting program is actually in a form of a strength and conditioning. Yes, the goal is to be athletic and fit, not just strong. There's always an accessory work after training main lifts to work on their imbalances, bro sessions, plyometrics, and cardio. We also focus on speed and agility, especially for the younger kids, younger athletes that play sports. We also offer programs for remote athletes. Some follows our in-house training, and some are customized to fit their goal, lifestyle, and schedule. We have athletes of all ages here, from kids, teens to senior. Some are legit AARP card holder. That's including myself. Uh, Yeah, there's many times an athlete would say, "I just want to get to 1,000 pound club, or hit a 315 pound squat, or bench, or 405 deadlift." Just for example, okay, they pretty much surpassed that goal after doing their first full 12-week training here at FullGrip Barbell, and some. Um, this is the norm as long as the athlete has the will, discipline, determination to put in the work. Also, basically, they need to be realistic too, right? Realistic to themselves, which I remind all our athletes. So, as far as our competitive athletes, we have a good amount of people that are like national level athletes as far as powerlifting and weightlifting, a few state record holders, first place on national event within their weight classes, a couple that was awarded as a pound for pound lifter in that event, whether they compete at a local meet, California state, or the big stage. They seem to kill it and look good doing so. I definitely take pride of that as a coach. My athletes putting on a good show and a good example. I consider some of our athletes advanced elite level as far as their level of strength and skills. Most of our competitive athletes are smaller individuals in a lighter weight class, and they can move some impressive weight like a heavyweight. They're very fun to watch. I'm a big fan myself. Um, like I said, I'm very proud of all my athletes for having that discipline, dedication, and the will, sticking to the program and trusting the process, even though they have to deal with an asshole coach like me. At the end of the day, I mean well when I get on their asses. I know for a fact that they realize that. I only speak the truth, and I know sometimes the truth can trigger people because they can't handle it. People can't handle the truth. Right? But my goal as a coach is not just to build a strong body, but also a strong mind. It can get pretty rough out there in the real life, but that's for another discussion. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. Uh, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, which I really have no idea how to use. I'm old, so I literally just learned how to use Google Sheets and Docs to write programs during the pandemic. Everything was handwritten, pencil and notebook since 2011, from 2011 all the way to 2020. Uh, I'm learning myself, and I believe even my coaching, there's always a lot to learn. Heck, I learned a lot from the athletes. I never really look at Full Grip as a business. Never was my goal to become rich doing it or make it a lucrative business. I had a goal of giving back, and that hasn't changed. But I do want to put our athletes, the gym, the program on the map. It's about that time. I believe it's about that time. So I really don't know how long I'm going to be doing this, considering all my health issue due to Lyme. I want this place to be remembered as one of the pound for pound strongest gym out there that produce regular people into beasts, without the use of drugs, steroids. So now I also want to educate parents, kids that play sports, other coaches, viewers, how our program can help and their athletes or an athlete, how they could take it to the next level as far as their sports. A proper strength and conditioning program is what makes good athletes great. You can have all the gift in the world, but you will eventually get outdone by a person that's putting in the work to get to where they want to be, even if they have that gift to begin with. Even though if they didn't have that gift to begin with, parents wants best for their kids. Kids wants to be the greatest player And to be honest, practicing the actual game is really not enough. The lack of strength and conditioning training, they will eventually fall behind regardless of the gift that they possess in the beginning. Here in San Francisco Bay Area, there's not enough school that focuses on these type of training for their athletes, especially in SF. I know that for a fact. I can only name like two private schools that applies weightlifting for their sport athletes, and that's why the school excel. When it comes to their sports like football, um, track and field and stuff. But let's give this other kids the opportunity so they can also play at a top level. Let's make that an even field. So and that's why we're here. That's why Full Grip is here. You know, um, I'm not here to sell anything, so don't get it twisted when I say our program works. uh, it will only work for people that's willing to put in the work, right? And willing to be consistent, disciplined, be dedicated, and they have the will. I'm not gonna hypnotize people with a good looking burger on an ad to attract you from coming in. I'm not gonna sell a guarantee like other programs, other gyms. Like hit a squat PR guarantee, lose weight guarantee. There's no guarantee if the athlete is not willing to do their part, and that's the bottom line because Coach Mark said so. I'm sure a lot of other gyms like myself, like around, they teach the basic, except for the global gym, of course, right? You have to figure that on your own. So our goal is to teach our athletes on how to be independent, make wise decision making, how to take notes, how to load the bar, how to properly warm up, being aware of their surroundings, safety, uh, learn to share, read the room, being able to work with each other. It doesn't matter on the skill and strength level. We are a community here. So now the true meaning of that training, practice, so they can continue on as they age, do it for like long term. You see a lot of gym goers that overreach, what they call lifters, day in, day out. Yeah, sure, gotta give it to them, full of motivation, but that motivation will only disappear as soon as they get injured. We teach discipline, how to train, the true definition of training. We work on precision, accuracy. It's not just about hitting PRs. We make sure that the form and technique is on point first, right? And also like the true meaning of community. You see a lot of people nowadays talk about hashtag fitbam or hashtag fitness community, but there's so much bashing on the internet, right? Hashtag fitbam, but they seem to be in their own little world, which is in front of that camera sitting on a tripod. And if someone walks by it, they get mad. And yeah, you're not gonna see that here at Full Grip. So how about the person that say like, I'm using that equipment, right? Then they sit on that equipment taking long breaks on their phone just to do two sets in an hour time frame. Here at Full Grip, all our equipment is for all of us to use, right? Every single member, right? There's no claiming bench equipment or floor spots. We work together as a team. We warm up together. We start pretty much and end together. Right? You will enjoy each other's company. You are not to talk shit about each other whether you like it or not. You can talk smack. As long as it's all for fun. Right? Yeah, like as long as the goal is just that. Like just to have fun. But no one should ever get butt hurt. And the athletes have to be aware of that, right? There's no bullying here. If you're a kid that doesn't know how to say hi, I will make sure that that kid will start saying hi. Right? That kid will start saying good morning, give bro hugs, and like fist bump before they leave. Right? There's no me here. But there is us as the community. Right? You will not be selfish or and feel entitled because you had more time than the others. Yeah, you will not act superior than others. Right? Unless you want to take it on with the main coach. So you would genuinely want best for your peers, your teammate. This is lacking in that fitness community nowadays. Too much selfishness, a lot of jealousy, envy toward others. There's a lot of hate out there. So yeah, at FullGrip Barbell, we are here to support each other. Learn to keep our head up high during those times of failure, and be a good sport. Right? Congratulate and give credit when credit is deserved. Clap and cheer genuinely, even if the person is playing for the opposing team. You know, uh, our in-house is not a place of competition; it's a place to train. And we go to the comp. Yeah, we are in there to put in a good show, and our goal is to win. That's the end of this video. Hit like, share, and subscribe, and follow us on all of the other social media. FullGrip Barbell on Instagram and Facebook. Um, Maybe TikTok. So, but we'll try to provide good content. Hopefully that you guys can all enjoy. We'll see. But like I said, I'm new to this. I'm old and I'm not like into any of this stuff. But yeah, hopefully we could provide some good content and for you guys to enjoy. Thank you. Thank you. Let's go!